U.S. Steel Corporation today announced that it's permanently closing
Jones
16
and Lockman steel plant is shutting. Devastating news yesterday.
American steel mills shut down all 1,000 workers.
When you, as an economy, get rid of your manufacturing base, the results are very cataclysmic. You have a domino effect.
You know, I always said our motto was, you dream it, we build it. Suddenly, I seen the sales dropping off.
Mark called me up. He said, Dad, we lost a job. He said somebody outbid us.
It's not within the United States, it's somebody overseas.
Since the year 2000, we've lost about 5.5 million manufacturing jobs. That loss in manufacturing jobs is kind of the backbone that has caused this incredible unemployment.
What do I do now? I'm almost 50 years old. All I know is this.
What the country's realizing now is that making things is important.
One of the things that's always been great about America is Americans.
It gets back to it just being good business to invest in your community.
We understand why businesses offshore their production. We also fundamentally believe that making things is critically important to the long-term health of this country.
Back in my hometown.
We're making more sales. We're making more partnerships.
Knowing that we put shoes on a lot of people, it's something to be proud of.
It's about believing in something.
What if you fail?
That's not an option.
Time for Made in America. And what if you could become one of the human engines creating jobs here at home? We know, we've said before, that each of us, if we spent just another $3.33 per year on Made in America products, we'd together create 10,000 jobs. So our Made in America team scoured the country and found one store in Elma, New York, showing us how it's done. ABC's Sharon Alfonsi explains.
This time, our journey took us to one of the great American vacation spots. Niagara Falls, a place to get soaked and pick up a few souvenirs.
Where do you think these were made? What does it say?
In Mexico. Oh my gosh.
She came all the way from Texas to New York to buy a shirt from Mexico.
And that's not all.
I Love New York shirt, made in India. Made in China. American hat, American flag, made in China. China, made in Honduras. Statue of Liberty, made in China.
But now, busloads of those tourists are making a patriotic pilgrimage to the tiny town of Elma, about 40 miles away. Their destination, the Made in America store.
Hey, I'm Sharon.
Nice to meet you, Sharon. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Shop owner Mark Andel opened the store a year ago with just 50 products. Today, he has more than 3,000 items. Paper towels from Arizona, flip-flops from Georgia, cleaning supplies from Illinois, even dog food from Minnesota. And all that patriotism is turning a profit. In just a year, sales here have doubled. Why the sudden surge of tourists?
A lot of them say, you know, have you seen the World News series? Once you guys did that, it just helps our store. I believe it's helping the country.
Andal spends about 25 hours on each item, making sure every component of every item is 100% made in America. Not just the t-shirt.
What about the hangers?
But the display. And if it's not...
I cut it up, actually.
What do you mean you cut it up?
I cut it up with a torch, and I burned it up.
And that commitment has created 40 jobs in his store and hundreds of others at factories across the country.
It's the only place to shop.
That's what it should be in every community in America. This is groundbreaking stuff here.
I mean, people travel 600 miles, 800 miles. Again, thank you very much, and we'll see you next run.
And then, without any prompting, a song.
I think it struck a nerve. People lost hope in the system.
Stand beside her and guide her.
Consumers have a lot of power in the country. They can change the country. This is so simple.
My home, sweet home.
How great is that?
What a moment that was. Completely unprompted, they just started singing. And Mark is hoping to create a franchise of these stores. He wants one in every single state. He imagined it being like Walmart, but without the foreign goods.
I love the variety of goods he has there, too. And we've heard from hundreds of you, as Sharon knows, with your own Made in America suggestions. And we've been adding them to our new Made in America map. Head to abcnews.com/worldnews to find American-made products near you.
You've probably heard politicians promising to bring jobs back to America. Have you ever wondered how or where those jobs went in the first place? I know I have. So I started digging, and I learned where all those jobs went. But I also learned something better, a foolproof way to get those jobs back. And later, I'm going to explain how. It all started about 30 years ago. Companies realized that by making stuff in places where they could pay people less, they'd save lots of money. They call it outsourcing, which is a fancy word for you're fired. So little by little, jobs began going overseas. But they didn't go alone. Each job that went took more jobs with it. Because when a factory closes, it's not just the factory workers who lose their jobs. Lots of people in the surrounding community lose their jobs too. People who supply parts and raw materials to the factory, electricians or plumbers who help maintain the factory, chefs, hairstylists, or insurance agents. When the factory goes, those jobs follow. Economists said this was nothing to worry about. Americans would just think of stuff, and the rest of the world would make it. Well, they were wrong. There aren't anywhere close to enough thinking up jobs to employ all of us Americans. And the ones we do have, they're disappearing too. Because the people who think of stuff, who design it and engineer it and improve it for the next year, they have to spend a lot of time right where it's made. So when the factory goes, the R&D goes too. What started as a trickle has turned into a full-blown fire hose, shooting U.S. jobs all over the planet. And now, after 30 years, it's hard to find anybody who hasn't been affected. The Great Recession has touched all of us. We all know someone who's lost a job, lost a home, or lost their entire life savings. But we sure screwed up. So now what? Luckily, we don't have to wait for the politicians. We can fix this ourselves, you and me, because we're consumers, and consumers have amazing power. In fact, if we decide to, we can reverse the flow of jobs today, right now. It's as simple as this. Every time you buy something, make sure it was made in America. But you have to pay attention. Sometimes, even if you think a brand is American, even if there's an American flag on the package, it might not be made here. And while it might cost just a little bit more, in the long run, it will cost a whole lot less. Here's how well it works. If each of us spends just 5% more on things made in America, economists say we will create a minimum of 1 million new jobs for Americans. 1 million jobs. Out of 100 purchases you make, maybe 20 of those are already made in the U.S. Then all you need to do is buy one more American-made thing. That's 5%. Just one more thing. Share this video with 2 friends. That's it, just 2 people. If every one of us shares this video with 2 people within a day of seeing it, in 1 month's time, it will have been seen by pretty much every single person in the country. I know that each of us will figure out a way to buy just 5% more US-made products. We Americans have a long history of making things happen. Thanks for watching. Please take the pledge and share this video with 2 people.